Emergency call. I feel being bottled in the face. Can you get some police down there?
With the country divided.
Hello, my friend.
Do me a favour, yeah?
What's that?
Close the door. Fuck off, you.
It's our emergency services
1263's running!
who see firsthand how broken Britain really is.
The police can't make your husband talk to you. It's not against the law for him not to talk to you.
And how it's changing.
That's my mum's actually.
Is it?
Are you texting, man?
That's all I've got. No, that's my telephone number.
As more and more of us face the problems of a nation increasingly on its knees.
That's 142. The drink drive limit is 35.
One service, more than any other, is feeling the strain.
While you remain naked, I'm not going to be speaking to you at the cell door.
I'm not coming.
I haven't asked you a question yet.
Everything pushes down to the police. As a chief constable, that's what keeps me awake at night. If that thin blue line breaks, there is nothing else.
You stay there. Take your hands out your pockets.
With crime on the rise.
Fucking bollocks, you know this.
But funding on the decline.
Custody's closed. Custody's closed.
It's still the police we turn to help us through.
They asked for her bank details, and Mum gave them the bank details.
No, you ain't got your strap down no more, have you?
Sometimes when you finish a shift, you can walk out saying, how did we get through today?
Northamptonshire.
The guy said to me, we're going to kill you tonight.
And right across the UK.
You need to just get out. I need him out of the house.
The police are dealing with the fallout of a hidden housing crisis.
How have you got these injuries?
That guy hit him.
Ultimately, we're all like one paycheck away from potentially being homeless. I know I am anyway.
From house shares
You're kind of in their house and they don't want you here.
to hostels,
All I want to do is go in there and get my head down and go fucking sleep.
an unprecedented number of people have no proper place to call home.
Have a little sleep if I was you. You got a blanket and a nice soft pillow there.
Everyone's always got problems, haven't they? And in shared housing, people have got more problems than most.
Do I like bingo? I don't know whether I like bingo or not. I don't mind it. Yeah. Police emergency.
Police emergency, go ahead.
Police emergency, go ahead.
I live in a shared accommodation. I've got a lady upstairs. Okay. She started ramming the food in my face. She said, "You smell it, it's mouldy," and she's really winding me up now.
In Northamptonshire, a decade of austerity has seen a steady rise in calls, and call handlers say there are more reports about the pressures of living in shared accommodation.
Well, you stay in your room, because what we don't want is this to escalate and cause more problems.
Home life has changed for so many people now, isn't it? Because people are renting more, you're sharing accommodation. You know, you might just be renting a room in a house, and there are more issues because you're trying to live with people that you've probably got nothing in common with.
There are a lot of people in there, they smoke weeds, they loud their music, people couldn't even sleep.
Okay, home is the place where you go, you shut your door and you forget about the world around you, the day you've had. You put your comfies on, sit on the sofa with a glass of wine, and it is your place. There are a lot of people out there living in places where their house isn't their safe place.
I have a lodger who's getting quite violent. I've asked him to leave,
Yeah.
and all he's doing is shouting, telling us to F off and all the rest.
The conditions that some people have to live in are awful.
It's a person that lives underneath me.
Yeah.
And they're just banging on the walls. They're just banging anywhere.
Okay.
Space is definitely the thing that everyone's after. If you don't have the space, you have people living on top of each other, and that's where the problem happens.
It's the early hours of Sunday morning.
Police emergency.
A tenant is calling about a fight in a large house share.
We've been inside and then they start fighting.
Okay, how many people are in there?
There are 3 or 4.
So these people with the knife.
Look, they came in of the house. They have knife and can you come in emergency right now?
Yes, we will be travelling as an emergency, okay?
So we haven't got an idea on who actually has the knife.
No, because it's not giving us anything.
PC's Louise O'Sullivan and Sean Whelan are dispatched to the house share, known as a house of multiple occupancy, or HMO.
Are you on the phone to the police?
Yep.
You are. Can you describe the person with the knife?
It's housemate.
Housemate?
Yeah.
There's quite a few HMOs in Northampton. Usually quite a large house with a good few rooms in there. with maybe a couple of bathrooms and a shared kitchen. And you'll get people from all different walks of life. So it could be someone who's just moved to the UK, who's got their first job and just needs somewhere to bed down at night. It could be someone who's lost their home. You've got different personalities, different characters, different beliefs.
Hello, how you doing, guys? May I come in? Thank you very much. Who's got the knife?
Nobody got the knife. Look what's happened to him.
No one's got a knife? Hello, sir.
Just call the police. Fine.
How you doing? So, how have you got these injuries? This guy? Right, dude, would you mind waiting outside here for a minute with my colleague?
Yeah, I'll explain to you.
Yeah? Just watch him, Lou. He might be a suspect.
If people are living in that close proximity all the time, it just takes that little extra just to tip people over the edge.
I went out, and the guy said to me, "We can kill you tonight," they're saying to me. This time, just hit him.
Who have you seen hit him?
That guy hitting him.
With what?
With bottle.
With bottle.
Yeah.
His name?
Do these people live, the Somalian chaps, do they live in here?
Yes.
Okay.
They do.
Have you got ID as well? Yeah.
There are 4 men living in the house, 2 East African and 2 Albanian. The man who's been injured is a friend of one of the Albanian tenants.
The majority of people I've seen in HMOs are usually young, single men. I think it's easier for a lady with children to find a home through the council, whereas for a man, I think it's a lot tougher. The waiting list is bigger. What's actually happened?
Well, we were having a drink.
Yeah.
Saturday night, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, these 2 guys were here in the kitchen. And this one, I just seen him, moving, throwing something, but it was too quick, and then the thing smashed on me.
So basically he's throwing a bottle in your face, yeah?
If I'd have been glassed to the face, I'd be probably trying to get down to a A&E department quickly, not just sitting there, continuing on having a beer with my buddies.
You fucking piece of shit. Fuck off. You piece of... Look what he's not doing.
It's all right, mate. It's
You
okay.
piece of shit.
We're going to sort it out now.
No, look what he's not doing.
It's okay.
Piece of shit.
Mate, which person here is it?
Well, I can't... That one.
What, the one with his back to the wall with the curly hair? Yeah. Okay. Let's just get him out of here quickly before it escalates.
At the moment, you're under arrest on suspicion of aviation. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Let's just jump outside, mate. We'll get you out of here.
Why are you arrested?
So you're under arrest at the minute on suspicion of ABH.
In here. Is that his?
Records show that the number of HMOs in Britain has nearly trebled since 2013.
I'm a landlord and I've owned the property for over 10 years and a number of other HMOs across the town. As rent increases, my HMO tenants cannot afford to pay for a 1-bedroom flat, which will be £700-800 a month. They can get a HMO for, say, £400 a month with all their bills included. It makes it a lot more affordable for people.
Do you need to tell friends or family that you're here?
I need to talk to my job.
The job? Yeah.
I've dealt with people working long hours for not great pay, people working 0-hour contracts, and their employment gives them no stability. And then they come home to a HMO and they're sharing that accommodation. Their whole lifestyle is quite challenging. Inevitably, sometimes things boil over. In this circumstances, it's the police that have to come out and resolve it.
Lives in a multiple occupancy address. He's been having problems with this person over the past week, so he's grabbed a glass and thrown it at this chap's head.
If they don't resolve the differences, how does that issue then resolve itself? Is the landlord going to step in and decide, right, I'm going to ask you to move out and you can stay? And they're in a tenancy agreement.
We're going to move to your waistband now, okay?
Unfortunately, people are left with a choice. Do they move? Do you lose your deposit because the bloke next door is doing your head in? That is one of the downsides of HMOs.
If you're a young single guy and you don't have enough to buy a house or rent a house as a whole, the chances are if you've got no family and friends to help you, you're going to end up somewhere in a HMO.
It's his first time in custody, so have a little sleep if I was you. And you've got a blanket and a pillow. Nice soft pillow there.
Do you know, I was quite disappointed with my kiwi, I have to say. Kate's just told me that you can eat the skin to a kiwi, but why would you want that texture?
How would you? Yeah, you can eat the skins. Try a bit.
I'm not eating the skin.
A little bit of furry thing on your tongue. You're used to it, you're all right.
Over the last year, rents have increased nationwide. And there's been a 13% rise in rented households letting rooms to lodgers to make ends meet.
I need help getting out of my house. My landlord won't let me out of the house. He's locking me in.
What do you mean he's locked you in? House prices and living costs are so high and more people are having to rent out their rooms or houses as a source of income. Why won't he let you out?
Because I'm behind on payment. I can't make the payment, so he won't let me out now.
When people rent rooms in their own places, is when tensions start to flare.
Hi, one of our tenants has smashed the windows in.
So you've evicted him, have you?
Girl staying with me. She's mouthing at my partner, slammed the door at my partner's face. Basically, she's taking the piss out of me. Excuse my French.
In my parents' generation, they could easily buy a house. I'm in the generation where you're stuck in a catch-22. How can I get out of my rented property, trying to live, trying to pay my rent, and trying to survive?
My son's refusing to leave my house. He wants to borrow money. I haven't got any money, but now he's in the bathroom refusing to leave. You're not even doing anything. You're not leaving my house.
Society's making it so difficult for people to get on that property ladder that unfortunately, rent problems that are nothing to do with the police are becoming our problem because people are kicking off.
Oh, hi, yes, I need police here, emergency, please. I'm getting wrongfully evicted by my landlord and they're being violent.
They're going to tackle me with a hammer.
How many of them are there?
It's basically two of them.
So they were stood outside, or were they in the flat with you when they fed you with this hammer?
They say they're going to get one and come through the door with it.
All right, you keep your door locked. We'll have officers with you shortly.
Thank you very much.
Which male has this hammer on his possession? Has it been seen or has it just been mentioned?
It's not a dog. These that are going to kind of. I don't know which one's got now.
Yes, copied.
Less than 10 minutes after they were called, PC Sean Whelan and Nina Crean arrive on the scene.
Hello, you right?
May I come in?
Yes, mate, yeah, come inside.
Who are you?
I'm the owner of the house.
You are?
Yeah.
Who's the tenant at the moment?
Josh.
Where is he?
He's barricaded himself in the room because he needed to get out. I need him out of the house.
Okay. Apparently the guy's upstairs, he barricaded himself in the room, so... Do you two guys live here?
Excuse me? I live here, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
And who's this?
This is my partner.
Okay.
Hello, it's the police. Hello, do you want to put that down, mate?
Yes, of course.
Good lad.
Can you get the door open?
Oh, sorry, it's just...
What's made you call the police today?
Because they were going to get a hammer. They were banging and crashing on the wall, shouting, like threatening stuff. And then they said they're going to get a hammer and start smashing through the door. They wanted to trap me outside, all my stuff, all my music equipment.
Yeah.
I was terrified. They were very hostile. They were making threats through the door.
Having a living landlord and just one or two tenants, it's more personal. Throughout the years, on and off, I've rented out my spare bedroom just to help me a little bit financially. That changed the whole dynamic of how I was living. Having strangers in my house, and that took a lot of getting used to. There was one or two individuals who I eventually had to hint they had to go. They just weren't tidy, they were pretty disgusting in some cases, and it just wasn't working out, so.
Okay. So I said, look, I can pay you 100. That way, 'cause I needed some for food, you know, and they said, no, that's not enough, you must leave. I said, okay. But then I said, if I leave, I need the £100 to find another place to go.
Basically, those two are the landlord, they live here. He simply rents a spare room, so they are live-in landlords. There's no contract in place, so as far as I'm aware, technically, if they want to evict him, they can. He's been here about 5-6 weeks in total.
Yeah.
I think he prepaid for the first 2, and since then he's not paid a penny, and they just literally had enough of him. And I think the threat came from, he said, I'll take the door off, as in I'll remove the door from the hinges. I do believe them. It's just a matter of if they want him to go because he's not paying.
I spent last year staying with a friend
He was getting custody of his daughter. So I had to leave. I was working in a temporary job that all of a sudden finished straight away. So I moved into this place and I gave him a promise to pay back the money when I got a job. I remember going out all day long looking for a job each day, and I was so depressed. And I managed it. I got the job in a call centre and I really liked it. Everything was going well, but my whole first week's money got stolen out of my account. I lost £200. Now that £200 I promised to my landlord.
The problem that we have is you're kind of in their house and they don't want you here.
Your rights are quite limited at the moment.
I'm not very good at doing stuff like this. I need to. I guess it's kind of how I'm vulnerable. I'm not very organised.
Josh, don't get upset, mate. Don't stress. It's all right.
I left home 18. I've always lived in shared accommodation. I can't knock the upbringing I had. I went to private school. When I was 22, I met a girl. We were together 9 years. We rented a flat for quite a few years. My girlfriend wanted to become a mother, and I felt deep down it wasn't the right thing for me at the time. When she left me and she said, I don't know how you're going to cope on your own, Joss. Since that time, I have gone a bit wayward.
You're not coping too well, are you? And I'm looking around and this room, and obviously, you know, your clothes, and you're quite, you know, shaky and...
Yeah, I don't look after this.
No.
Out of the goodness of my heart, I've took him in and helped him out. And for him to turn around and do this to me, you know, and I can't afford, like, I don't work myself like because of illness and that lot.
It's just from our point of view, he's a vulnerable guy.
Do you want to come down and should we speak to the landlord and see if we can move this forward for you? And what I'm concerned about is if we remove you too quickly, where are you going to go? And then you'll become more vulnerable, won't you?
Yeah,
so,
I know, yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. Okay, what we need to do is obviously between you come up with a plan, a way forward here. Okay. The thing is, to me, he's quite vulnerable.
Yes, I understand. I've helped him out so much. I've fed him. I've helped him out because he's had no food and like a lot. I've said to him, help yourself to our food. I'm not going to see a man starve.
No, and I appreciate that. I'm not
there
against you on that.
Do you expect me to do that every week for you?
No.
No, I'm not going to keep doing it, Josh. I can't afford to.
I've got a lot of money stolen off me, lay down.
But that's nothing to do with me, is it? I'm in a difficult position myself, Josh.
Yeah, everybody is. Both of you are, really.
I'm paying overheads for the house, my own self and all, and I'm not paying for you. Simple.
If you're a landlord, you're renting a room out, you know, you need the money to live, and you've got someone not paying you, then it kind of comes down to you're supporting someone else, aren't you?
How can I find it out with another room if I've got no money to move in with? If I could possibly find someone, I'll get out.
The landlord is a good guy. He did help me out. He helped me when I was in trouble. And if they'd just be able to just be a bit more patient, I would have paid him back everything.
So what do you think's reasonable here?
I said if he gives me £50, he can stay till Monday.
Till Monday.
He owes me 3 weeks, you know what I mean? So I'm losing out there at the end of the day.
So potentially, if Josh is up for it, we can get you down to the Kingsthorpe front now in our car. Yeah? Make sure you got some suitable clothing on you. And we can do that. Of course, if you want to, yeah? Tell you what, if you go and put some trousers on, buddy, because you've got a rip in those ones. Yeah? And then that'll be fine for the weekend. Yeah, we'll wait for you outside, yeah?
But looking at him in there, he can barely look after himself. He can, you know, he seriously needs some help.
I mentioned about his family, his mum and dad and his sisters, but he...
Has he got anyone?
No, he's got nobody.
In a way, I felt guilty bringing Josh to get the cash out because it wasn't a police decision to make people get some money out to pay a landlord.
Did you get the money?
Yeah, I've got the money.
Good work. Okay, awesome. Let's go back to the house, yeah? We'll get you back into your room,
Cheers,
get you back into bed, nice and cosy.
The easy thing would have been just to say, Josh, you need to leave, the landlord wants you out, and just watch him go. But it wouldn't have sat right with me to see that.
Hello, guys. So there's the £50 for the weekend. Hopefully, he can get himself sorted in the meantime. However, I really hope I haven't got to come back here. I don't want to have to come back here again. Yeah, no arguing, no funny business. We've got an arrangement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Arrangement. As long as it's quiet, that's fine.
Excellent. Bye.
Ultimately, we're all like one paycheck away from potentially being homeless. I know I am anyway.
Positive outcome, I suppose. They've shaken hands, the money's been exchanged, and he said he's willing to store his stuff in the house until he finds somewhere else.
I'm just hoping to survive this. When I can get back on my feet and get a place of my own, I think I'll be much better equipped for survival. Well, I hope I am. I hope I've learned something.
It's just after 9 in the morning in Kettering.
Common sense, people.
Jeez, oh, it's not difficult, is it?
PC's Debbie Wishart and Max Spittlehouse are battling the rush hour traffic.
They don't know how to get out of the way. They don't know when to stop. They close your gap.
Yeah, people can't drive.
People can't drive.
If I had £1 for every person that needs to retake their driving test.
Oh, man.
Police emergency, go ahead, caller.
Hi, I've just been assaulted.
A call is coming in from a local hostel that has 15 emergency rooms for vulnerable adults who have nowhere else to go.
Do you need an ambulance?
I don't think so, that I've got a big lump on the back of my head.
We've got officers travelling to you, all right?
I've been there recently.
We're there all the time, aren't we?
It's sheltered accommodation for homeless people and people with specific needs. So there are persons there to assist general living.
Hello. This is the lady that's called the police. With regards to who?
I rang 999. They said, "Please, ambulance, please."
Right, so what exactly has happened?
I knocked his daughter asking for a cigarette, like we all do here.
Right.
And then the next thing I know, I've been like pushed over, and the CCTV to prove it, and I banged my head on.
Where's the CCTV? Let me have a feel of your head.
Could I have a look at the CCTV? Does it capture the assault happening?
The reason I called 999 was because I'd knocked on my friend's door, and he wouldn't answer the door to me, so I was banging on his door. Next thing I know, he's opened the door, pushed me flying, and I've hit my head on the wall.
Not justified, but her actions were unjustified, to be honest. So,
okay.
Yeah.
In the assisted living, whether it be people banging around, whether it be loud music, it causes frustration. It doesn't take much for it to go boom.
Hello, at this moment in time, buddy, you're under arrest on suspicion of assault, okay? You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not meant to run questions, submit to later on court, and anything you say may be in evidence, all right? Your arrest is necessary to conduct a prompt and effective investigation into the offence.
Right, don't worry.
Do you mind me asking any mental health problems or anything?
I'd be assessed for mental health.
For what exactly?
Depression and severe anxiety.
But nothing.
I have ADHD.
Okay.
When I'm angry, I do lose my temper. There is times where it just does get the better of me because it builds up too much. There's some nasty people there sometimes. Like, we have a lot of drug users, a lot of alcoholics, and there's always going to be tension at one point or another. I'm not going to kick off because sorry, not to be rude, but I don't think I'm in the wrong. It's me getting aggravated.
Where's your
because
room?
This car here, mate.
While the suspect is taken to custody to be questioned, the officers are alerted to another incident involving the victim.
She'll have to come in as well. She's a burglary was reported yesterday for her. Because it's been alleged that you've entered through a locked door and stolen a chicken Kiev, I need to inform you that at this time you are under arrest on suspicion of burglary of that room, okay?
After 16 years of doing this job, that was one to remember, and I think that will live with me for quite some while.
After you, young man.
Understand why you're here? Yeah.
How long was your detention? Have you been arrested before?
Yeah, once.
Would you like to speak to your consulate or anything?
No, thank you. I was 9 years old when I moved over to the UK. I think I got bullied because of being from a different country. The bullying got so bad for me, I didn't want to speak to anybody. It just made things worse for me. I ended up moving out of my parents, even though I love my mom and I love my stepdad like to pieces. So I lived in care home for a while. Then I moved to another place, and then got put into a hostel.
Put your arms down, cheers.
In the last 2 years, I've moved countless times. I don't even remember because I just stopped keeping track. It's probably like 6 times. So I got a sofa, a TV in there to play my video games on. I think that makes it a little bit nicer for you as well. That little room is just where I lived, no one else. Is my home.
let's have a look and see what we've captured.
PC's Wishart and Spittlehouse review the CCTV footage of the arrested woman's alleged burglary.
Here she comes. Straight in, doesn't even knock. Put a frozen Kiev down her bra. She goes back to her room and she gets in the lift. So yeah, I mean, that's good enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, Sarge. Hi. The circumstances are
Ridiculous.
that she has gone into another resident's bedroom without permission and has stolen a chicken Kiev.
What filling was it in there?
What filling, he said, is it?
Garlic. You get ham. Are you taking the mick?
You can get cheese and ham and stuff, can't you?
Oh, it's a chicken Kiev. Police arrested me for burglary of the chicken Kiev. I didn't eat the chicken Kiev.
Are you consumed alcohol or taken any other drugs?
I'm an alcoholic, but I haven't had anywhere near as much as what I normally would.
Hold your hand out for me.
Shaking, aren't I? And that's not nerves. I was doing well, I was clean, I'd got myself off all opiates, but I was drinking. And that's what led to me being arrested, basically. I'm not a pain, I'm not gonna run off. Please, half a cigarette and I'll be done. Please let me have a cigarette, please.
You can't have a cigarette.
Why?
No cigarettes. Calm down.
Well, I can smoke at the hostel.
No, you can't. You're under arrest.
There's no smoking. Cuff me then.
We will.
And I'll have my own cigarette.
So please don't do that.
What?
Kick me.
I didn't mean to.
Okay, arms out to the
I
side.
didn't mean to. I didn't want to take my arm out. I grew up in a very posh area of Kettering. We lived in a bungalow and my mother always kept it lovely. Like, she worked hard. My ex-partner lived with us and we had nice things. I was having foreign holidays. Had a child, dog. I always had a car. Things were good. I didn't leave home until I was 24. My mum actually had Palsy repossessed. When my mum lost her home, yeah, I fell apart. That was when I started probably using drugs more. But I was a functioning drug addict, as they say. When I met my new partner, he was a full-blown drug addict. And then we started using drugs together. We lost the house, we lost the children. That was when we got put in temporary accommodation. He got then sent to jail, so I was left on my own and had to defend for myself for the first time ever.
He's admitted that he's assaulted you, okay, that he's pushed you. And because he has admitted it, we've decided that the best way to go ahead is to caution him for assaulting you. Okay?
The persons that are living in these addresses don't need just a roof over their head. They need help with their mental health, they need help with their alcohol, they need help with their drugs.
Because I got arrested, I was immediately evicted. And then the council said that I made myself intentionally homeless because I got arrested. Everyone says, oh, you've reached the bottom, the only way's up. That's not true, the bottom just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
This is a form you can read in relation to what a caution is. I must make you aware that obviously should you apply for certain jobs where it's asking.
Northampton Council in particular have run out of money. There have been so many cuts that the agencies that used to assist us are no longer available.
All right then.
As a society, you've got to think to yourself, how have we let this happen?
It's Sunday morning, and after a few days' leave, PC's Sam Clulow and Tony Salis are back on shift.
What do you do on your days off? IKEA. What do you buy from IKEA?
Flat pack furniture.
Yeah, I presume that, because that's what you get from IKEA.
That's what you get from IKEA.
Wardrobes, drawers?
No, we're looking for beds.
Got all the IKEA trips to look forward to. Sophie gets overly excited about it.
I'm 24 and this year I've just sort of stepped foot on the property ladder and
managed to get my own place. I've moved in with my partner. Still plenty of work to be done, but sofa's in, TV's in, stuff's on the wall. Got the colour schemes going on. Bit of duck egg blue, bit of mustard, blush pink in the bedroom. So yeah, it's going good.
The officers are called to assist with the pre-planned arrest of a prolific burglar they believe is staying with a local drug user.
So where's the back that we're covering? Next block?
Next block, yeah.
Sergeant Tony Cotton is in charge of the operation.
We needed to arrest the suspect, and we were looking for clothing because there was some CCTV footage which was quite specific in terms of the clothing the offender was wearing.
So please, can you come to the door, please?
Hello, mate.
Oh, no, I'm not a criminal.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Oh, then.
What was this?
Happened 2 days ago.
Where?
I'll tell you more later.
Oh, here we go.
The reason the arrest is necessary for prompt and effective investigation.
Yeah, no further loss.
Okay.
We're looking for mobile phones, and we're looking for gloves.
We went there to arrest someone for a straightforward job, but the reality is things change very quickly, and all of a sudden you're caught up in something very different.
Don't want to really get my knees on the floor, if I'm honest with you.
Someone's home, it's a sure sign or indicator as to how their life actually is being lived. And it was obvious the homeowner is quite vulnerable.
I remember the first day I got the keys into the flat from the council. It was lovely. It was a home.
Loads of needles down there.
Sealed needle caps. You've got needle boxes disposed there. Got the bloodied tissue. It's just all linked to heroin abuse.
There's needles everywhere in there.
Yeah, drawers are just full of needles, aren't they?
I would like to have lived a normal life, but it hasn't turned out that way.
Do you have a mobile or anything? No.
I'm 41 now. I've been a full-blown homeowner for about 20 years now. When you're needing it every day, it becomes the most important thing in the world.
Does he sleep in here, does he?
Yeah, the minute he's down as my carer. You can call it a carer, I don't know.
Him, a carer?
Hey?
How long do you live with you for?
Since the beginning of January.
Does he actually get paid to be a carer for you?
Yeah.
What is it you're diagnosed with, if you don't mind me asking?
Stroke.
Stroke?
Yeah.
What's your mobility like?
You see me walking around on my stick, that's about it.
What sort of care does he provide?
He's meant to tidy up and help me cook and that.
I think he's failed on that score.
Yeah.
My suspicions were on high alert. People will hear the term cuckooing. It's a process of drug gangs finding vulnerable residents and effectively inviting themselves into the premises and then taking over and running their drug dealing enterprises from these addresses.
I've still got a key to my flat.
Those that have become victim of cuckooing, they're really trapped in that fear of, I can't shout out for help because as soon as I do that, I'm in trouble by these players that are in my house. And sometimes a life that's already sort of in doubts and struggling, and it's just getting hammered down even further.
What benefits do you get?
I get about $4.70 a month PIP.
Yeah.
And about £200 a fortnight ESA.
And then you get carers allowance on top of that?
Yeah, which is £65 a week.
So effectively you got £900 net spent a month.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny, you've got the bugger all to show for it in here.
No.
Honestly, okay. How much are you spending on drugs yourself?
Probably about £100
a month?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not a great deal.
This particular lad was a massively prime target for the cuckooers, really. Because of his disabilities, his benefits were incredibly generous.
Unless you're smashing the drugs, which you tell me you're not, it must be going somewhere. You can't get out very often.
Makes him a target for the predators that are preying on him, because not only can they have his accommodation, they've also got his benefits as well.
You just seem quite an attractive proposition to someone who wants to take advantage of you, do you know what I mean?
My concern is that these idiots that purport to be your friends and your carers are helping themselves to drugs out of your money.
Yeah, I've definitely been a soft touch during my life. People take the mickey now still. It's ruined my life, to be honest.
Have you ever self-harmed, Jamie?
No.
Have you had any thoughts to?
Yeah. I don't know why I went down the path of drugs, to be honest. Just peer pressure. My childhood was pretty good. I can't complain about it. I never wanted for anything. My mum was a secretary, my dad was a fireman. Yeah, I suppose he was a bit of a hero to me when I was a kid. Just don't want to be around anymore. I wish this stroke had killed me, to be honest. When I was 14 and 15, it started innocently enough with a joint. And then it progressed to the harder stuff. A friend of mine introduced me to heroin. And I didn't realise how addictive it was.
This was never a home. This was never a flat that was anything other than a shooting gallery, a drugs den, you know, whatever you want to call it. It was a place where people went and took drugs. Just having a roof over your head, it doesn't mean you've got a home.
James, you falling behind on your council tax?
Yeah.
What are they doing with that, mate? They're going to chuck you out or something?
They can piss off. I offered to pay half and they told me they didn't want a half, they wanted it all in one go.
You'll end up being made homeless because of it. You do realise that, don't you?
Yeah.
I think it'll cost you everything. I think we'll submit an adult safeguarding referral for you because I think you need some help, mate, and I think you are being taken advantage of a little bit. You're not a well man, this is not a healthy environment, is it, for you to be living in? Do you want to go to the hospital with us?
Yeah, can do.
It's fine. There's one.
His flat was the last thing he had. He's now potentially out on the streets.
There you go. We're not always that bad, are we? No, we're not.
If you're vulnerable, sometimes they don't have much else other than the walls that they live in. Have you got anyone else we can get in contact with for you? Just on your own? And sort of take that away from people. It can be devastating and it can really cause a downward spiral.
If you just move across this way, mate, I'll put your seatbelt on for you. Not a problem.
It's 9 p.m. on Friday in Northampton.
Police emergency.
A call is coming in from a homeless shelter. The final refuge for those who failed to find a bed for the night.
Calling from Northampton Oasis House.
Yeah.
We go and one of the guys came in and then the guy is drunk. He's not allowed to come in and he's trying to threaten the staff.
Is that him at the background?
Yeah.
Stay away from him or try to.
All right. Yeah, now he's gone out anyway.
That's fine, and we're coming, okay?
PC's Louise O'Sullivan and Lauren El Shakawi are dispatched to the refuge.
Yeah. I've come here tonight. I'm homeless, living in a tent.
Yeah.
Right, I've not caused no trouble. I've only come here to get my head down, do you know what I mean? Because I'm sick of being in a tent, do you know what I mean? And then suddenly I went in and had a wash. I came out, yeah, no, you're not allowed to. I was like, what have I done? What have I done? Do you know what I mean? I didn't do nothing wrong. No.
I just want some warmth for once. You know, I'm sick of just waking up cold. Or waking up alone. I think that's the worst thing about being homeless is loneliness.
From what I understand, you're banned from being in the Oasis house.
No, I'm not banned.
That's what they're telling us.
Yeah, they're telling you now. Look on the records, I'm not banned. I've been there for more than
Well, they're telling us that now. They have the right to say
I'm
that
willing
you're
to walk away,
banned.
do you know what I mean? Unless you arrest me for something. I've done nothing wrong.
I come out of prison, been out 5 years, been homeless for about 3 years, on and off. Going to prison, you've got a roof over your head. A day, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is, you still got a problem when you come out. Because there's nothing there for people.
All right, what's your date of birth?
When you're on the streets, you don't drink to get drunk. You're drinking to forget where you are and what the hell you've been through.
I'll go and have a chat with them. Are you going to be all right?
These are frauds. Frauds.
Yeah.
If you don't have a home, you can't build nothing. You can't go to work every day living in a tent. Been there, tried that. Can't have a bath, you can't have a shower. You can't eat properly. Yeah, being homeless is broke, mate.
Well, all I want to do is go in there, get my head down and go fucking sleep, do you know what I mean?
I get it, but
Fuck
Terry...
him, do you know what I mean?
Terry...
Fucking ponces.
All right. Let's go have a quick chat with my colleague, if that's all right.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah?
You're going to arrest me?
I don't know yet. I need to speak to my colleague. Why you hope so?
Yeah, no, she's all right.
I think we're going to have a public order at least. He's gone in there. Apparently he's been turned away because he's drunk. And then apparently he's been threatening to punch the security guard. We meet people like Terence quite often. People who literally have nothing. They have no homes. They have no family. I think you know what's happening, don't you? It's 21 hours. You're currently under arrest, all right, under suspicion of a Section 4 public order. Do you understand that? He's got himself into a really bad situation where you're too drunk to get your head down for a night in somewhere that's safe, so you end up being back on the streets, and because you're back on the streets, you're back drinking again. And then you're too drunk to get into the shelter the next night.
2/3 of ex-prisoners who end up becoming homeless reoffend within a year of leaving prison.
Hello, Terry. How are we?
So, Terry has turned up at Oasis House tonight, and he's been refused entrance because he's suspectedly drunk.
We have regular people that come through custody that want to get arrested, and they will do anything they can to get arrested.
Have you got any jewellery or anything on, Terry? Nothing at all?
Yeah, I've got a penis bar.
Oh, right.
You want to take it out?
Apparently he's got a penis bar. Do you want him to take it out?
Well, I certainly won't be taking it out. It's even got that bad that we've had officers assaulted by people just to get arrested. They've rang in, said they need the police turn up. You know, are you going to arrest me? No. And they get assaulted just so they get a roof over their heads. And that can never be right.
You all right there, Terry? Oh, you all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep.
I'd say the housing situation is in crisis, and as a result of that, there's the mental health issues that come with that as well. Terry, just before I finish doing your rights, I've got the paramedic behind me. I want him to speak to you. Steve, he's taken a concoction of drugs, pregabalin, codeine, Valium. He's drank a lot of alcohol. He's just fell backwards and he seems a bit unsteady.
Sorry.
Right, what we'll do, lay him down for a short while and see how he progresses over the next half hour, what to do. Yeah? Okay.
When I first left school, I was working in a glass factory. They all got made redundant after 2 years. And that's where my life turned sour, really. When my dad passed away, he was my best mate. Growing up living with my dad and my granddad, having them in my life, made me feel wanted. There's days I wish I could go back to that, just for that 10 minutes, to go and have a look and stare from a distance. See where it all went wrong. But you can't go backwards, you can only go forward.
Right, take your socks off for me, please, mate.
I think some people have gone too far from just needing housing because they don't know how to live in society anymore. Some of them live in chaotic lifestyles. They would need the intervention from the services first to get the mental health under control, to get the addictions under control before they could be integrated back into society. Because I don't think half of them would know where to start. OK, unless you've got any questions, I'll get you taken to your cell.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's go.
Thank you, Terry.
Can I have a coffee?
A coffee? How do you want it? Do you want sugar, Terry? Milk and sugar?
10 years of austerity is starting to bite. You know, council houses aren't being built anymore. Most of them, or many of them, have been sold off. The lucky ones have got a room. The unlucky ones are on the streets, but sometimes there's not a huge amount of difference. There's still a fundamental misunderstanding of just how severe the shortages are and how everything comes back to us to deal with and pick up the pieces.
The man who was injured in the HMO refused to press charges, so no further action was taken. Since being evicted by his landlord, Joss has been unable to find anywhere else to live.
I mean, I'm living in a tent right now. I've learned to survive, and the bigger things you have to get through, the greater the man you become of it.
The vulnerable drug addict who was preyed upon failed to find the money to pay his outstanding council tax and lost his home.
At the minute, I'm stopping with a good friend who helps me out a lot. Well, my hope's the future I get to get clean and live a decent lifestyle. I need to get myself into detox. Turn my life around.
The man who threatened staff at the homeless shelter was fined £85 and given an alcohol treatment order. He's staying with friends, but is concerned about others on the streets.
Now I've got a home, I'm looking to go back to work. The only purpose I can have in life is trying to educate other people about homelessness. But that's something I'll have to keep fighting and keep going for.
It's a chicken Kiev.
Following an investigation, the woman accused of stealing a chicken Kiev was charged with theft. She's been staying with friends since she was evicted from the hostel.
In 5 years' time, I hope that you will find me in my own home, happy, completely drug-free still, and with my children.
7 weeks after being evicted from the same hostel, the young man, who was on a waiting list, secured his own council flat.
Having somewhere where you can go and you can say it's home, it is really nice. Gives you a bit of calmness and hope.